Good morning. Good. I'm back in Sanur, back in my home here in Bali after a long trip, actually, a tiring trip through West Java, the place that I originally moved to when I moved to Indonesia all those years ago. It's almost 15 years ago. And it's good to be back, actually. We're a bit lucky this morning. We've got really good weather. The sun's shining, hasn't rained, and it's warm, like really warm. So for a wet season that's been fairly wet so far, I'm grateful not to have any rain right now. But I thought I'd get out early. It's about 8 o'clock. Thought I'd get out early just to see what's going on, just in case the rain does come later in the afternoon, which would be fairly normal in a place like Bali. But if you haven't got rain in the morning, well, you're probably going to get it in the afternoon during the wet season. The first order of business today is to find some breakfast. I was thinking about going back to that nasi kuning place that I went to. I filmed it probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, I reckon. It was a long time ago. Might go back there. I'm not that hungry, so I might just see if I can get something pretty cheap and pretty simple, a bit of rice and some noodles or something like that, and then continue on, get a coffee, have a look around the streets to see what's changed in some of these areas that I've filmed previously, so you get a bit of an update of what's going on here. And then I might even end up down the beach, but we'll see. I'm walking on the west side today, and that's the Pantai supermarket. That's fairly central to this area. And then there's some sort of, I don't know, Italian restaurant being built here. Another one of those Italian, I don't know, pizza places with gelato. There's already like so many pizza places on this west side now, so many. And some of them are good pizzas, so it's gonna be hard competition now with yet another place opening up that's doing pizza. Probably noticed I got a new hat on. Well, when I got back from my trip in West Java, I landed and in Bali, I landed and got an ojek from the airport there. And I strapped my hat to my bag, but obviously didn't do it very well because the hat fell off within about 20 seconds. I noticed it about 20 seconds after I did it. I said to the driver, hey, turn back, I just dropped my hat and it'll be on the road. Turn back, it's gone. Someone had stolen it within 20 seconds. It was absolutely incredible. So that yellow hat is no more for the time being, unless I can go and buy a new one, which I wouldn't mind doing actually. I'm actually growing quite fond of that one. So I'm back to a more neutral colour, a bit of a khaki colour. We'll see how we go with that one for a while. Coconut guys are unloading again. They're the ones that they come from Java and deliver to this shop every now and then. I guess they need a lot of stock. That's that coconut shop called, I think it's called Warung Pengkolan. And they just sell, well, they sell fresh coconuts, but then they'll make jelly out of it. They'll do coconut water, so they'll get all the water out for you. And that's a fairly popular place. And they get deliveries all the time from East Java. I've been sort of thinking a little bit about the trip that I just had over in West Java and about how it made me feel. There were plenty of moments during that trip where it just felt really good. Like it felt I'm back home. It's an odd feeling because I didn't expect to feel that way because I love my life here in Bali. It's just brilliant. And I was a little bit frustrated with life over in Bandung when I left, to be honest. That's one of the reasons I left, because of traffic and so forth. When I was there, it actually felt pretty good. I rarely got caught in traffic. I had some really good food, met some great people, walked into some areas where, you know, the value for money for things like housing and so forth is just phenomenal. And it felt good. And there was almost a part of me, well, there was a part of me thinking, geez, I wouldn't mind moving back here, which sort of caught me by surprise, to be fair. It caught me by surprise. I did not expect to feel that way at all. I actually didn't expect to feel that warm about the place. And when I got there, I mean, yeah, just absolutely passionate about it. But sort of thinking about it and mulling over what that actually was, I mean, I think you can love a place but not want to live there. And I think that's what it turns out is the case for me with Bandung. And I think that can be the case with Bali as well. You can absolutely love this place and have this really warm feeling in your heart, but think to yourself, I could never live there full time because, well, for a whole range of reasons. Not just practical ones like, oh, there's too much traffic or it's too hot or whatever. You might have healthcare issues, for example, which cannot be met, or the needs can't be met in somewhere like Bali. I mean, so I understand it, but it's interesting that it hasn't really happened to me before like that. Oh, here we go. Might get something from here. A little bit of A little bit of nasi kuning, yeah. Putih, yeah. Might get some of this. I'll just ask this lady to give me a small little dish. I might ask for 5,000. We'll see if I can get it. Bu, boleh 5,000? Ada 5,000-an, ya? 5,000 worth. So that's nasi putih, so white rice, not yellow rice. So that's what you get for 5,000. A little bit of chicken there, a little bit of tempeh, a little bit of veg, and then a little bit of noodle and rice. And that's it. Oh, it is so hot this morning. I can't believe how hot it is. I haven't sweated like this for ages. And it just reminds me how much hotter it is here than it was in West Java. I'm really surprised at how cool it was there. Here, oh my God, so hot, so hot. Let's get stuck in. Had a few people calling out to me this morning that have recognised me on the street, so hello to those people who are watching the channel. That tempeh is fried with a bit of chilli in there, so it's crunchy. Bit of chicken, you know, pretty straightforward. That chicken just shredded with a bit of chilli in there, and that's it. Just enough for me. Makasih, Bu. This is a very lovely lady from Karangasem. She's merantau ke sini. And it's one of the things that happens in an area like this is that over time, as the people who live here in Bali become more wealthy, they're not willing to do the jobs that they once would have been willing to do. If they can go and get a job at a hotel and get paid, let's say 7 million a month, they're not going to go and sell nasi kuning and only get like 1.5 million a month. That sort of thing happens quite a lot. So a lot of the warungs these days, not all, but quite a lot these days, are now being operated by people from outside the area. And it's not the people from Java necessarily. It's just people from outside the immediate area. They could be from half an hour away. So from a village just a little bit poorer, half an hour away, not in a tourist zone. Or that lady's come from the other side of the island to come here. So you're seeing more and more of those lower level jobs being taken up by people who don't actually originally come from like this village. That's happening more and more often nowadays. And it's actually quite similar to what happens in a place like Australia, where once upon a time you would have had a lot of Aussie labourers sort of working really hard, picking fruit or working in factories and so forth. A lot of those jobs now, because they don't pay quite as much as a more modern job, I guess you could say, those jobs are now taken by people who are from overseas. So I know a lot of Indonesians who are on like a working holiday visa will go and do seasonal work, because I've done quite a lot of seasonal work myself in Australia. And there's a lot of Indonesians there. There's almost no Aussies whatsoever. I worked at one place where there were 40 people working there and I was the only Aussie. And you know what? The amount of money I made was pretty good. Like, I thought it was really good. Easily enough to go and work there for a few months and live here for a year. Well, it was quite good money. So those sorts of situations arise everywhere in the world, I guess, and Bali is no different. Now, this is coming up to that place that was an apartment block that I showed you many months ago. And it's now sort of coming, the shape of it's sort of coming into view now. Hello! This guy. Halo, dari mana? Dari Bali. Dari mana?
Dari Jember.
Jember, Jawa Timur. Tinggal di sini atau apa cuman untuk proyek ini?
Cuma untuk proyek adanya, Pak.
Ya. Jadi kalau udah selesai kembali lagi ke Jember atau gimana?
Kembali lagi, Pak. Kembali ke sana. Ke Jember.
Ya. Berapa lama untuk ini selesai? Setahun dari sekarang. Dari dulu. Jadi nggak lama lagi. Mungkin beberapa bulan, 4 bulan mungkin ya. Yeah, this guy's waving to me at the top there. It's actually looking quite good. But that colouring there they've put some I don't know, brickwork on there, tiles or whatever you call it. They look like tiles more than bricks, don't they? Okay, makasih ya. Well, there you go. That's coming along. They don't really have much information, to be honest. They've got no idea how many units are in there. Don't know how long it's going to take. They reckon it's going to take a year from when it started, but I feel like that's been going for almost a year now anyway. I guess they just keep working until it's no more work to go. That's what I'm guessing. A lot of these guys don't really need to think about too much except put their muscle into putting that building together. That's what happens most of the time. any cost overruns, they don't really care about. Someone else is going to be looking after that. Bocor ya, ban bocor, aduh. Ban bocor. This guy's got a flat tire. Dari mana bang?
Dari Sanur.
Sanur, asli.
Asli Jawa, Banyuwangi.
Banyuwangi ya, tak aku pernah ke sana juga.
Dekat ini aja.
Ya. Oh, ini parah banget ini. Untuk masalah sampah, gimana? Masih antrian dan apa?
Antri.
Kalau Bapak udah harus antri berapa lama biasanya kalau udah mau antri?
1 hari.
1 hari?
Ya.
Kalau udah malam gimana?
2 hari kita
Harus tidur di truk?
Ya.
Harus ada yang standby?
Standby harus ada, standby.
Aduh.
Padahal malamnya kita ngomplek. Belum mau juga.
Oh. Kenapa ada antrian di sana? Kenapa enggak terlalu cepat di sana sekarang?
Jalan.
Kalau hujan,
Ya.
Medan di atas.
Oh, udah ya hancur ya.
Tahu bubur?
Mobil guling.
Ya, oh.
Bubur tahu? Bubur.
Ya, tahu bubur.
Kayak itu loh jawabannya itu.
Oh, karena terlalu besar sekarang.
Apanya?
Yang gunung sampah.
Oh, udah tinggi, udah.
Ya.
Udah tinggi.
Jalannya mobil gini.
Oh, wow.
Tapi don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry. Oh, I'm not worried. Okay, ya, mari ya. Makasih. While those guys are doing that, I had a bit of a chat about their situation with the rubbish. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So there's actually a rubbish situation, if you didn't know, in Bali at the moment where the rubbish dump is more or less full. It's supposed to be closed. They haven't closed it yet because they've got nowhere else to put the rubbish. And what's happening is that there's a really long line-up of trucks always down at the tip. And I was always confused at why that's happening, but he's saying the reason it's happening is because the pile now is so unstable, it's like porridge, and you've got to go really slow and make sure you don't, tip the truck over. And that's why you've got a big queue compared to what you used to have before. Well, that sort of makes sense now, doesn't it? That makes a lot of sense. It's a bit rough that those guys have to sleep with the truck though if it sort of takes overnight. So I've just stopped in at Dapur Deli for hot cappuccino. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Like real nice shiny milk on that one. That's a really good coffee. No, it is. I often get sandwiches from here as well, get them delivered to home. Nice little homemade biscuit. This place is actually one of my favourite cafes in Bali. Not really. It's a bit of, like, not modern. That's why I probably like it. Like, it's modern-ish. Well, it is modern, but it's not like the jungle style. Very good coffee, very good sandwiches. It's sort of probably suits my age group, to be honest. So if you're in my age group or even a little bit older, you will like this place. You'll really love it. Nice open air place with the fans going. Good coffee, good food. Just nice, and a nice sort of suburban feel. It's pretty good. 31,000 for that fine suburban coffee at Dapur Deli. I just love it. It just feels so, just normal. That's what I like about it. It's nothing fancy, but it's good. It just feels good. It's not trying too hard. That's more really what I'm trying to point out, is that it's not try hard. Like a lot of places try so hard, and when they try hard, they then go and jack up the prices, and you get something that you think is, yeah, it's all right, it's pretty good, but I'm paying through the nose for it, and it's, I don't know, I just love it. It's just more my style, very relaxed. I actually really like that there's no air conditioning. It's a funny thing to say on a boiling hot day like today. I've gone and had a hot coffee, I'm sweating buckets, and I'm enjoying not being in the air conditioning. And I think you can do that when you have a nice breeze coming through and you have the right atmosphere. Like you tend to forget some of that real nasty heat stress that you might get, you know what I mean? Like, because in some places you go and sit down and it's hot and you're like, I can't be here. But that place, love it. This is Jalan Kutat Lestari, and I'm sure I've walked down here probably once before for a video. I'm not sure if I came down this far, but anyhow, whatever the case, doesn't matter, because I'm behind the Bali Mandara hospital right now. So the hospital's there. That's actually got a pretty good reputation for a hospital. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, what are we judging on? We're just judging on what other people say. And other people have told me they had good experiences at that hospital. So, yeah. I guess the only thing about that is that when people are judging, they're not necessarily judging on clinical outcomes or clinical performance. They're often judging on, whether I had a nice bed, whether I was treated well, and whether I recovered. And your recovery may not be based on how good the healthcare is. So just take that with a grain of salt, that this is a great place. I mean, I'm sure I would go there. If I was sick, I'd be going there. But, you know, I'm not making any comparison between it and any other hospital, because I'm not, you know, you probably have to put some like statistics in place on healthcare outcomes and so forth. And I don't know if we get that here in Bali. A few cables have been cut there. This is interesting around here. I'm not sure what's happened here, but something's gone on here, because it seems to have been a tree cut down. It's now lying in the creek over here, and these things have all come out of the ground. One of them's been bent and fallen over. It's all the poles. Oh, I know what's happened. Oh, I know what's happened. A tree's collapsed onto the wires. It's bent the pole. Because there's so many wires, the tree has actually pulled the pole over, and there's half of it's ended up there, and it would have been covering the road, I suppose. Yeah. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That's what's going on there. There's actually a word for when a tree falls over. So the word for fall over is jatuh normally, like for a person. If you trip and fall over, well, it's not that trip, but if you fall over, it's jatuh, you fall down or something falls, yeah? But for a tree, we don't say a tree fell over. We say pohon tumbang. And we use that for trees, poles, those long structures, whatever it is that might sort of fall over like that. You can also say, there's a word katimpa, and katimpa is something that sort of had something falling on it. So for example, mobilnya katimpa means it's been fallen onto by something. It's a different word though, means something slightly different. So there's a lot of words that sound quite different, and you'll forget them, and you'll get them mixed up, like I still do today. Like I might say, there's another word which is to spill, which is tumpa. Yeah, kopinya tumpa. If you said that, that'd be wrong when you're referring to a tree, but sometimes I say it wrong, and then you realise that someone's looking at you like, what is that guy trying to say? But they might not tell you that you got it wrong. And then later you realise, I think I said the wrong word there, and you go and look it up in the dictionary and you go, oh yeah, I said tumpa instead of tumbang. Just came across this place and they've got all these rocks and dirt, and I thought they were, I don't know, making concrete or something. Then I saw all these bricks, and it looks like they're making bricks here. Look at that. They are making bricks there. Yeah, look at that. The guy's got a machine. Wow. That dude is making bricks. That is incredible. My God, look at all that. That is incredible. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know they were making bricks like that here in downtown Sanur. Oh, look at that. Dude just gets some rocks and starts making bricks out of it. I'm not even, and he's got some cement there as well. He's obviously got his own little formula that he reckons works pretty well, and that's where you are. I'm at the bypass right at the moment now. I've got to try and cross the road, but there is no gaps. See that there? There's just a garden. So I'm going to have to dash through the garden and try and get across the road, because I need to get across here. And there's no crossing, so I'm just going to have to wait for this traffic. Might have to wait a little while. You can wait up to sort of like, I don't know, 5-7 minutes or whatever along the bypass for a gap, because what you're really waiting for is for the light to have changed red way up the road. And then you've got to make a run for it. There we go. I only waited about 60 seconds there. I'll try not to step on any plants as I get up over here. And we'll get down the other side. What do we got? There we go. That's pretty empty as well. Get straight down into that. If you've got dodgy knees, that's a little bit more complicated. You're going to need like a stick to help you down. But even then, not too difficult. A lot of people sort of worry that crossing the bypass is too difficult or is actually a problem. If you wanted to, for example, if you wanted to live over the west side, if you have to cross that road every day, it's going to be a problem, but it's not. It's actually not a big deal at all. If you know what you're doing, and after you've been here a while, you sort of get the idea of how it sort of works. And normally you don't have to wait too long, and you will always have a gap. You don't have to just dash straight across and almost get run over. I'm going to go down that road. It's called Jalan Tanjung. I've actually never been down this road, but it goes down parallel. So you might have seen a video I've done before about the canal around here. It's sort of like in that southern end of Sanur, the southwest part of Sanur. Not really, you don't get really many foreigners going down there. You get the odd local foreigner that will go down there for a walk in the morning, but it's pretty unpopular. Even with like real deal locals, they don't really walk along there very much, but that's sort of in that direction. And I'm walking parallel to that at the moment. And I'll end up, I hope, if this cuts through properly, I'll end up near that canal or near the mangrove forest down there. We'll see how it goes. Just want to have a look down this street, see what it looks like. This is generally what it looks like. It's very residential. So this is beach side of the bypass down here. New villa construction there. 5 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. That'll be expensive. That will be really expensive. That will be. Here we go. Bit of leasehold, 4 bedrooms. That's going to be expensive. That is around here. I've seen this place in the past called Pink Private for cool adults only. I've actually seen that on booking.com before. It gets fairly well rated, but I can't help but feel there's something more going on there than just being a hotel. Like, you've got this pink sort of thing going on, and it's for adults only. And as soon as you hear adults only, like for me, I don't know about you, maybe I've just got a bad mind, but as soon as I hear adults only, I'm thinking, hang on, is that just because I don't like kids, or is it something more? Interestingly enough, there are still vacant blocks down here. That's a fair sized block as well. That'd be a good 300-400 square metres, that one there. Could be 400 square metres, or 300 square metres maybe. That'd be just worth an absolute fortune these days down here. Land prices have gone through the roof, especially for freehold, which most foreigners don't buy, but that's what I'm sort of looking at, because obviously Susan can buy it under her name. And prices of freehold land have gone through the roof. Like even West Side, people are selling land now for over 1.5 billion rupiah for 100 square metres. So if you want a 300 square metre block, which is not very big, you're looking at 4.5 billion rupiah minimum. Yeah. I have noticed, interestingly though, that there seems to have been a little bit of heat taken out of the market over the past few months, maybe the past 6 months. So prior to that, there just seemed to be so much energy in boosting prices, and they were just going up, by 10% a month almost. It was just ridiculous. But it seemed like there might have been some people paying those prices, and we've noticed over the past few months, especially the tourist numbers seem to be down, feels a little bit flatter. And then, of course, prices of property have not sort of increased like they used to, which I find to be quite interesting, to be honest. Now I'm down a road here, looks like a dead end. I don't know if I can get through here. We'll see, there's some warungs down here and so forth. So there's obviously some sort of traffic coming through. But yeah, getting back to that property price, I'm not sure what the prices are now. Obviously, beach side of the bypass are far more expensive than that. Far more. I mean, I reckon you wouldn't get anything under 2 billion rupiah per 100 square metres beach side, and that's not even being close to the beach. That's being close to the bypass. Yeah, you can't really get too close to the beach anymore for a reasonable price, even in this area, which is at the very, very southwest end of Sanur. Oh, here we go. I know where I am here. We're in the mangroves. We're close to the canal, which is through the other side of those mangroves. Nice. Yeah, so property prices, crazy, but maybe the heat's come out of the market a little bit. I don't know how that affects leasehold properties, which is what most people watching this channel is probably interested in. I would imagine that there's a similar decrease in price or leveling off of prices. Doesn't mean things are cheap. It still means it's crazy expensive, but you just might feel like it's a decent investment now. The other thing is, leasehold makes a little bit more sense if you're not going to leave money to kids or whatever, or you don't really care too much about that part of life, and then you go and buy something that you know is going to last until you die. Yeah, say if you're 70 and you think, I'm not going to last past 100, and you go and buy a 30-year lease, well, you're fine, you know? It's like buying it outright. And you do get a much better price on a leasehold property than you do on freehold, of course. I sometimes forget with these videos that even though I've filmed places before, like sometimes I think I can't go back there, I've already filmed it. But that might have been 18 months ago when I had hardly any subscribers. So a lot of you might not even be familiar with some of the places that I'm going to that I've already been to before. For example, this area here is what they call the canal. Well, it's not what they call the canal, it's what everyone calls the canal. There it is, that's the canal. That actually runs out into the ocean. I'll follow it a little bit. In there, you've got a couple of temples, like one over that direction, one up there a little bit. That's really interesting to go and look at. Like, it's no problem. You don't have to put on ceremonial dress or whatever to go and have a look at that one over there. You can walk up that path through the mangrove forest, and you'll have these like rubbish collection things here. Like they've got nets, they've got little gates and stuff, and that will collect part of the rubbish, and you'll get guys going in there from time to time, taking all the rubbish out because they don't want the rubbish coming down the river, and then obviously straight out into the ocean. There's people fishing here at the moment. Not sure what's going on here. It's actually a bit of activity, which is a little bit strange. Anyway, this road leads down to Pantai Mertasari, and it comes along the side of the mangrove forest. I've never seen so many cars and bikes down here. So odd. So that's the mangrove forest. It's pretty large. So from here, from Sanur, it actually extends a really long distance and actually blocks access to the beach at one point as well. Goes some miles, absolutely miles, and it's protected as well. Like, it's not supposed to be cut down, although I did read an article a couple of months ago about some Russian guy getting done for building a factory on top of it. Like, it wasn't him that necessarily did it, but he'd bought land that was reclaimed from the mangroves, and it sounds like he might have actually been somehow scammed or something like that. He bought it off someone who cleared the mangroves, and then the government came and said, oh, you can't do that. You're not allowed to have a foreigner building a factory here on top of the mangroves. And he's like, hang on, I bought it. I got the title for it. What are you talking about? And then obviously then there's some argue about who's going to pay what and whether it can still exist or not. But yeah, this is all protected, and sometimes people do build on top of it. And then it comes out like that. It comes out to the river. So that's basically the canal, yeah? So what we saw was the canal turns into this river, which is tidal. At the moment, it's obviously low tide, so it's flowing out. But when the high tide comes in, it flows the other way. It fills up from the ocean. And I guess that, I don't know, there's somehow some fish in there. I don't know how a fish can like both salty water and fresh water, but somehow those people who know about that sort of stuff know that brackish water can sometimes have life in it. There's also a lot of, I think they're oysters down there. So you sometimes see dudes going down there picking up oysters and pippies and clams and so forth. So there's obviously some, like, it's not a dead river. Even though there is a little bit of rubbish in it, it's not totally dead. All right, so we're at the car park of Pantai Mertasari. And what's interesting about this is this building never used to be here. When I first came to move here, which is not that long ago, like, I'm only a newcomer here to Sanur, this wasn't here. This is all like long grass basically, and they were constantly trying to slash it and clear it. But now it's been turned into what they're calling a fish market. Yeah, that building's been there for over a year now, and there's been no progress. So a lot of money was spent on that thing, but nothing really come of it, which is a bit sad, I think. Okay, there's a sign here basically saying this area is not for pedagang kaki lima. A pedagang kaki lima is basically one of those sellers that sets up. So they'll wheel their cart, and the cart's called a gerobak. They'll wheel that gerobak to a point and set up, and the general name for those sellers is pedagang kaki lima. And they will, so when you say kaki lima, you've got to be careful what you're talking about, because it's not really like the actual cart. You're really more talking about the seller who might have a cart and might set up in a fixed space. Yeah. So yeah, they're basically saying no pedagang kaki lima here, and that is abbreviated in Indonesia as PKL. Yeah, so you'll have governments talking about rules around PKL, and they're talking about pedagang kaki lima, and pedagang kaki lima are not really talking about, well, it's not really talking about someone with a cart, although they might have a cart and they might set up in a fixed spot. They're not talking about the cart generally, if that makes sense. I think that's an important distinction, because we sometimes use the word kaki lima to mean the cart itself, which is not really technically correct, although there is a bit of a blurred area with that as well, because, I mean, you can speak to some Indonesians that will more generally say, oh, kaki lima means that dude, but it's a little bit more in-depth than that, I think. Sanur Surf School is one of the mobs down here. They'll do a private surf lesson for 750,000 for 2 hours. Take you out in the boat, show you how to surf for 2 hours. I mean, I don't know whether that's good value or not. I mean, I'd be willing to pay it if I was doing something like learning how to surf. But I guess you could probably do it cheaper somewhere else. But it just seems all right to me. Even though we've got some of this police tape and stuff around and some bollards. So Surya is now operational again. So that used to be one of the places on Pantai Duyung that got destroyed during the process of getting rid of all the warungs. And now it's opened over there in a much bigger sort of format. You got a puppy. Oh, lucu banget yang ini. Namanya apa yang ini?
Ratu, ini Ratu namanya.
Oh ya, oh, lucu banget. Hello.
Misternya pintar bahasa Indonesia.
Enggak. Dari mana aslinya kalian?
Aku
Bali,
asli Bali.
Karangasem.
Yes.
Paling utara atau gimana? Kota mana?
Paling timur.
Bali Timur.
Ahmad. Ahmad?
Ahmad.
Ahmad. Oh, kenapa ngapain di sini?
Kita berenang.
Okay. Ya, mari ya. That's a cute puppy there. Lots of people from Karangasem actually come down to this area of Bali, I find. It's really common. I have a funny feeling it's because of the job opportunities up in areas like Ahmed and Amlapura and that sort of stuff are not so great. And of course, if you can get a better life by moving. This is Warung Bumade, they do great satay there. You gotta come and try that satay, really good. Dari mana aslinya?
Dari Jawa.
Jawa mana?
Jawa Timur.
Kota mana?
Jember.
Jember. Kalian semua dari Jember? Tidak? Beda-beda? Ngapain di sini?
Buat video.
Oh ya? Video? Video apa?
Video
Film? Jadi kalian actors ya? Bukan. Di mana syutingnya?
Di sini, di Mertasari ini.
Oh ya? Untuk film atau apa?
Untuk tugas.
Tugas. Dari apa? Kuliah atau gimana? Sekolah. SMK. SMK-nya di mana?
Di SMK Drupadi.
Drupadi. Jadi ini tugas buat sekolah seperti drama atau apa? Drama. Oh. Jadi kalian bagian apa dari produksi itu? Bagian apa? Seperti apa?
Peran. Karakter.
Oh.
Karakter.
Kalian juga?
Iya, saya kameramen.
Cameraman. There we go. Cameraman there. Ada cameraman di sini juga? Ya, oke. Dan nanti kalau udah selesai SMK, lanjut ke apa?
Kerja.
Makasih ya. Semoga sukses ya. Semoga dapat kerja yang bagus banget dan tipsnya tinggi sekali. Ya. Nice to meet you too, ya. Okay, see you. Bye. Bye. There you go. They're pretty cool people too. I sometimes don't really understand everything that's going on. Like drilled down pretty deep there, and I still don't really get why they're making a film, yet they're in hospitality school. It's a bit strange, isn't it? And when I asked, I said, it's just what the teacher wanted us to do. It's actually one of the problems of being a non-native speaker as well, is sometimes you don't know if the misunderstanding is because your language is not good enough, or that there's some cultural thing you're not really getting, or whether it's just actually a situation which is nonsensical anyway. Like, that one sounds pretty nonsensical. I think that's what's happened there. Even when I drilled down, there's no resolution. So we're back in the swing of things here in Sanur. It's beautiful. The wet season doesn't seem to be as brutal as it had once been earlier this wet season. And I'm really enjoying bringing you content once again from Sanur, and hopefully Greater Bali as well. Thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.